and a 3 and a 2 and a good morning. Welcome to the Livingston Parish News Morning Show. My name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. This is one of two shows that we do every day. We start this one at 7:30. A little early today because there's a candidate forum going on in Walker, courtesy of the Livingston Parish Chamber of Commerce. So we will be out there. Myself, Kevin, and Drew will be covering that. So we appreciate your patience as we start a little early today. Usually we're at 7:30. Other shows at 4:30 p.m. If you ever miss these shows, we do post them at www.livingstonparishnews.com/podcast. They are free there. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. Appreciate you checking us out in any of those places on those social media, depending on which one you use. So let's get into your weather and traffic this morning. Currently, it's your normal school day. Heavy delays on Hatchell Lane as well as Highway 16 in Denham Springs around the high schools and junior highs. It is heavy delays on North 16 in Watson and then around the high school. Minor delays on 64 heading into Central. Not too bad. Might be your best bet on getting into Baton Rouge. Minor delays at 447 and 1025, which is different. Usually there's some backup there. Traffic on the interstate, though, pretty much from O'Neill all the way back to Jubin Road. So please be aware of that. Heavy delays at Jubin and 190 as well. Weather today, it's currently 73 degrees. Going to be 89 for a high. Cloudy all day with a chance of rain this afternoon of 40%. It's going to get a little cooler also tomorrow. We're going to have some scattered thunderstorms with a high of 86. Then it's going to get back hot over the weekend. So we're going to have a little reprieve, but nothing crazy. I want to remind everybody that early voting starts a week from this Saturday. So Saturday, September 28th. It runs through the next Friday. That'd be October 5th. It is not on Sunday. They will not be open on Sunday. However, early voting starts next Saturday, the 28th September, runs through October 5th. The reason that it's being pushed is because the LSU game against Florida is at 2:30 on CBS on October 12th. Also, that is the Saturday of Fair Day. So instead of having to worry about going to vote and only needing to worry about results, go vote early. You can vote at the Livingston Walker Branch Library or at the Registrar of Voters office. Both places are open every day except for that Sunday. Don't forget, it is not open Sunday, from 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. So you can go early vote at either one of those locations. Please keep that in mind as this next Saturday gets closer, thinking about that October 12th date. Some of you might not care about either one of those events, but there's a lot who do. And I know the Registrar of Voters, Mr. Jared Andrews, as well as the Clerk of Court, Mr. Jason Harris, are trying to get everybody in there who might be participating in either one of those events, the fair or the LSU game, early, so they can go ahead and get those votes counted. So please keep that in mind moving forward. Contractors struck a water line in Walker yesterday. They were without water for about 7 or 8 hours. I say without water, low water pressure, brown water, that kind of thing. It would appear that officials have said that they've gotten that fixed. We have a poll running right now, which we will put on this live video, and we'll trying to get some people. Have a lot of people commenting. If you comment and don't go vote, we cannot input your vote for you on our end. It stays that it's one of those things where they want to protect our web provider. Gives us the option of protecting the integrity of the poll. So if you don't vote, you don't vote. We cannot take your comment and input it or count it as a vote. So please click on that link. We will put it on this live video. Please go vote on that. We're asking you whether or not you are interested in moving 3 mills or changing the tax structure in the parish to move one tax from a place to drainage. Right now, Parish Councilman Shane Mack has mentioned that he wants to move 3 mills from the library over to drainage. Will be interesting to see how that vote turns out. Just in case you were wondering, my opinion is online on the subject. I think that's a bad idea, but that's my opinion. Interested in the opinion of you all out there. There's also a survey going around between Gravity Drainage District 1 and City of Denham Springs. It's for City of Denham Springs residents. We will put that on this as well. It's kind of about drainage in the area, stormwater activity, the difference between river flooding and stormwater flooding, talking about a few of those things, trying to learn how best to educate the citizens of Denham Springs and Livingston Parish on drainage and on flooding. So we'll put the link to that as on that survey on our Facebook Live as well. We'd appreciate you answering that. FEMA recently announced $3.65 million for elevations and acquisitions in Livingston Parish. Couple of things that need to be mentioned here. The Hazard Mitigation Grant Program is open to anyone. You can get up to 100% match, or 100% financing, I guess you can say, on elevating or acquiring your home, depending on where you live. Now, part of the reason it's called depending on where you live, if you're in a severe repetitive loss area, which means you've flooded more than twice in 5 years, or if you're in a repetitive loss, which is more than twice in 10 years, you are eligible for anywhere from 85 to 100% in the cost of elevating your home. Very much depends on FEMA's return on investment. The important thing to remember is while FEMA has announced another $3.65 million, they announced $5.3 million for the parish and $1.5 million for Denham Springs. That money isn't here yet. It's not in some Louisiana bank account to be given to residents here just yet. They have to analyze the grants that were awarded, double check on them, and then they have to discuss with local authorities how to implement this program on the ground to make sure that people's homes get elevated appropriately and that sort of thing. So just because they said that $3.65 million was awarded does not mean that $3.65 million is here just yet. In fact, no monies are here just yet for Denham or the parish to do their elevation. Walker's still waiting for their first round of grants and an announcement on that. Sales tax is kind of cruising along here. Motor vehicles topped the previous 12 months, so it would seem there was a big lull after the flood, probably because most people went and bought a new car, lost their car in the flood. It appears we're getting back on track here with regular intervals of car purchases. If you didn't know, it does not matter where you buy your vehicle. Your sales taxes are shipped to your zip code of residence or your area of residence. So you do pay. If you go buy a car in Baton Rouge or Hammond, you're still paying your sales tax here. So, car sales are up, getting back up. That's a good sign moving forward. Interesting meeting on Tuesday of the, I guess you can call it there's a specific committee at the school board that tries to find innovative ways to save money for the board. One of the things that was brought up was using career and technical students for media relations. Concerns were expressed because there are some things that kids just can't do. There are some questions that kids don't know how to ask. There are some questions that for the most part the kids wouldn't know what to ask because they don't understand the information that's presented to them, and part of that's just because they don't know how the school board works, how financing works, that kind of thing. So that board voted, or that committee voted, for School Superintendent Joe Murphy to get with Miss Stacy Polozola, who is the Career and Technical Director for the school system, and try to find some happy medium. First, they're going to have to define what media relations is, and then figure out from there which pieces of that puzzle the students could do. A lot of this came up when questions were raised about whether or not the school board's dealings with Delia Taylor, after all of her situation panned out, was legal. According to Mark Boyer, who is the attorney for the school board, it was in fact legal. The school did not participate in any illegal activity. However, the push continues to maybe try to find a way to do some things separate and apart from her, who was the one who handles their media relations as well as populating their newsletter and things of that nature. So we'll be interesting to see how these things pan out. The Lady Jackets fended off the Lady Eagles in volleyball last night. It was nail biting kind of game. Those two like to go at it. Very new rivalry. So please check that out. www.livingstonparishnews.com/sports. Great game that occurred last night. We did our football show yesterday. It'll be coming out today. We hope you enjoy it. This week we're talking about there's a lot of travel. There's a couple of teams that traveled specifically, or that will be traveling, specifically Live Oak and Walker, who will be looking for some momentum. And one of the things that Brett Beard said about Live Oak is, can't go to the Dome if you can't win on the road. So they're going to be looking to get some road momentum here. Walker travels to Fontainebleau on the North Shore, and Denham hosts Sandoval. But then on the other side of the parish, on the east side, we've got the battle for I-12 as Albany and Springfield go after it. You can check out some preliminary information at www.livingstonparishnews.com/sports, or you can watch our football show coming out this afternoon. We could not get all the coaches in together at the same time, so we are doing a show on our own after we interview everybody. So we hope you enjoy that. We also have a podcast about the amendments came yesterday, as well as a podcast about FEMA coming tomorrow. And on tomorrow's morning show, we're being joined by Attorney Brian Abels, who is running for the 21st JDC, the seat that was vacated by the Honorable Doug Hughes, who retired on June 30th, so it would open up for this election. We will be talking about FEMA a little bit coming up in coming shows as they have continued to communicate with the parish, so we'll be checking that out. One more time around the bend with your traffic. Let's check out what's going on as we have been in the booth for about 15 minutes now. Traffic's starting to dissipate. Cars are moving down, shuttling onto the interstate. Heavy delays backed up to about Jubin Road if you're heading westbound on I-12. Intermittent delays after that, after you get past O'Neill. Heavy delays after the 10-12 split. Light traffic heading into Central, so that's a good sign if you're trying to head that way. And not too bad at 190 4-H Club Road and River Road in Denham Springs. Heavier delays at Jubin Road and 190. It's currently 73 degrees. High of 89 today. It's going to be cloudy. Looking for some rain tomorrow. Going to have a high of 85, but it's not cooling off just yet. We'll get back into the 90s starting next week. As mentioned, we will have Mr. Brian Abels on the show tomorrow. Looking forward to him joining us. We will do a morning show and then a podcast with him. You'll get to learn everything you ever wanted to know about somebody who wants to be a judge, and the role of the judge in the community and things of that nature. So we look forward to having him on the show. We look forward to talking about some FEMA things going on. We hope you will check that out. There is a story about FEMA having discussions with the parish currently online, www.livingstonparishnews.com/news. We appreciate you checking that out. It would take a long time for us to go through, but the general aspect of it is that they've received a third letter, that would be the parish, from FEMA, and FEMA is now telling them, we want the information on the 4,000 substantially damaged homes that we have discussed in the past. FEMA, it has been pushing for that. The parish only submitted 343 reports on substantially damaged homes. So it will be interesting to see where they find those differences and come together on that, and where the parish is going to find the labor to do such a thing. At that point, according to current permit requirements as issued through the National Flood Insurance Program, you have to build 2 or now with freeboard 1 foot above base flood elevation. So some of those 4,000 homes, if they are substantially damaged, might have to be elevated. Will be interesting to see how that pans out going forward. Again, my name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. Appreciate you joining us today on this auspicious of Thursdays. I'm going to be heading out, going to the candidate forum for the state representative and senators. That'll be at Holy Ground Coffee. Check us out on Facebook and Twitter. We'll be giving you some live updates. I think actually Drew is prepared to go live as well, so we will see you guys out there. One more time, we are on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. If you ever miss one of these shows, you can check them out, www.livingstonparishnews.com/podcast. Hope you have a great Thursday. We'll be back at you this afternoon.